What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling. We got Ben over here, man. We're going to be talking some predictions today.
What's going on, We Are Wrestling Maniacs Worldwide? It is Ben, the third We Are Wrestling talk show. Yep, as Danny said it, we have some predictions rolling out today for Elimination Chamber this Saturday. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal. But before we get all into that, Don, what we got on the menu today, bro? What we got on the menu? What's going on? What do they got to do?
Well, we do have something special on the menu this Saturday. We're going to be doing a live watch-along to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So if you need somebody to watch the pay-per-view with, you can watch it with us this Saturday. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know, the grind is real. So of course, in every pay-per-view prediction that we do, what are your predictions overall for this show? Do you think it's going to over-deliver? Do you think it's going to be mid? Do you think it's going to be below average?
That is that is determined. So like the singular matches themselves, like every match that's like, you know, an actual match itself and not part of the Elimination Chamber match, those had some solid buildups. I'm still very like kind of like meh about both chamber matches. I'm not really like sold on really anybody in the match. Is like, oh, I need them to fucking win because I need to see their growth. Like, there's not many of those in that match, in either of them, to be honest. But we'll get there, obviously. But in terms of, you know, with those three other matches, or, you know, three matches rather, carrying, it could possibly be a decent show. If those matches are handled correctly, like everybody is waiting for fucking Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. That is going to be the highlight of the fucking night. So, like, you know, with those matches, it could at least help where maybe matches lack. So I'm going to say a decent show and rate it maybe. If we're rating it out of 10, I'm going to give it maybe like a solid 7 for a decent show. I'm not expecting above and beyond. I'll give the Roman Reigns and fucking Sami Zayn sake, I'll likely give that a fucking 10 out of 10 because it's going to further a more incredible story. Mm-hmm. Especially after what I saw today. So
I think the show's going to be good overall. Like Ben said, everybody's, you know, the whole point of the show, really, you know, it's all about Roman Reigns and Sami. Like, what, you know, how is that story gonna progress? There's a lot of bangers on this show, though, and we're gonna get to those in a little bit later. But obviously, this is the showcase for Sami Zayn. It's in his hometown, in front of his family, his friends. You know, he wants to put on a banger of a match along with Roman Reigns. And with this being the last show before WrestleMania, I don't think they're gonna over deliver with this show because they're gonna want to save a lot of their energy for obviously WrestleMania in April. But I do expect this show to be quite good. I expect it to be. I might get some hate for this. I expect it to be a little bit better than Royal Rumble, but not by much.
I don't know about that. But here's my thoughts on this Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. They had 3 weeks to build this, and I gotta say, within the 3 weeks, I think WWE did do a pretty solid job building the pay-per-view, but these matches aren't really that compelling to me. And I think that this show, besides the main event, because obviously Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, that's going to be a 10 out of 10. Perfect ending. It's going to be great regardless what happens. I think the show's going to be mid. I really think so. But I do think the men's chamber is going to be one of the most underrated matches on this card because there's a lot of underrated talent in there, which we'll get into during the predictions.
Well, I mean,
absolutely.
In a way, I guess I can kind of agree with you. Like I said, like this is the last show before Mania. They don't want to pour their, you know, energy into this and, you know, not Mania. But obviously it's going to progress the story between Sami and the Bloodline. I do have a feeling that we're going to be seeing the return of the Hurt Business from everything that's being set up. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to be excited about for the show.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of it's going to be more storytelling and leading to the road to WrestleMania. So, with that being said, let's get into our
Yeah.
predictions for the Elimination Chamber 2023. The first match that we have on the card, which you already know, subject can change anytime. The order, we just did it our way. There's really no specific order or anything. So, the first match we have is the Elimination Chamber for the women. The winner will go against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. We have Carmella versus Nikki Cross versus Raquel versus Asuka versus Liv Morgan versus Natalia.
Can you pull up the picture of everybody that's in the women's match? Okay. So I can tell you right now who I think is going to win, and it's between two, but I have a very, very strong feeling as to who's going to win. They're setting this up for Raquel. 100%. They're setting this up for Raquel. They have been slowly kind of simmering on her. I've noticed that they've been kind of making her a forefront on TV in the women's division lately. Like they're really kind of like putting her out there more. They really, really tested the waters with her, very short tag team reign to see how she would be as a champion representing a championship. It felt like, so it's like, I feel like she's been being bred for this for a long time. And I see just by looking at her stature compared to everybody else in the match and her stature, and you really have to look at who would look greatest at WrestleMania under those big bright lights against the EST. And the only person in that match that could really fucking bring the same energy is Raquel. So honestly, from what I've been seeing in her buildup on the shows, she's the likely outcome. And honestly, I think I would back that because everybody that's in it has already been a champion or has earned an opportunity already. She's one of the only, if not the only one that hasn't.
Here's the
Anyways,
thing. I'm
now
going to
that I
have
came in
to.
swinging.
Yeah, you did. You definitely came in swinging, man. And here's the thing.
Sorry about that, bro.
My only concern here about Raquel winning, I don't think she's ready to compete on the biggest stage of them all for the Women's World Championship. I think she still needs, more time to really, craft like her main roster run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's ready yet.
I believe that too. I believe that too. It's just how it feels like the stars are aligning is all. Like it just feels like how it's kind of starting to feel and play out. I don't really see much in everybody else considering they've already had their opportunity, but the only other person that I would say that would make sense for is Asuka. I think that's the only other one that would really make sense because they're really changed her character. That's why I said it was between two. Asuka is another one because they really already repackaged her character. She's going for a more nuanced, darker, more like cultural character, it feels like. And there's new energy there, and she's been refreshed, which she's really fucking needed. And they're allowing her to kind of do her own thing in a way, but it really made a solid repackage, I guess, if that makes any sense. I think it's between those two. I would be happy either way because at least we get to see a new star, kind of go forward. But at the same time, it would be cool to make Asuka a more threatening force again. And they're bringing her seriousness back and making her, a big competitor again instead of somebody that's just kind of in the air because there's not much creatively to do with her. But maybe that's the route they could go. So I'm done with my two-parter. You guys are good.
So, Danny, how do you feel about, the women competitors in this chamber match?
Well, I definitely don't think it's going to be Raquel. She doesn't. I mean, she's not that well liked. She doesn't get a fan reaction. Nobody expects her to go to WrestleMania. Nobody expects her to win a championship.
Not yet, at least.
I think it's going to be Asuka. She came back
bro.
She came
dig
back,
into me, would you?
Well, it's not digging into you, but I
dig into me.
I gotta say, out of the three of us, I'm the most
I'm giving some hope here.
when it comes to watching the shows.
Nah, fuck you.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do that, but I
Got
mean,
you.
like out of the three of us, I'm the most consistent when it comes to watching the weekly shows and stuff like that.
You,
So
Well,
I
you
kind of
do a watch
actually
along,
watch
so
it.
that's
So
very true.
yeah.
yeah, so I gotta
um,
give. I'll give that to you, dude. 100.
I'll give it to you too.
so I gotta go with Asuka. I mean, she came back with a whole new gimmick. You know, I'm having a hard time deciphering whether she's a babyface or a heel, but she like I don't know. She just has a
She's
new
kind of like a
aura
Bray
about her,
Wyatt.
and I feel like they're really setting it up for having her against Bianca at WrestleMania. I think that'd be a killer match, especially this side of Asuka that we haven't really seen before.
Here's the thing. I do think it's going to be Asuka out of all 6 of these women. I think out of all of them, Asuka makes the most sense to go against Bianca Belair. That
Mhm.
feels like a more Mania match. Plus, Asuka's, come back with, this whole character change and more darker side. And I think that Bianca Belair, she's due for some real competition. That's not Alexa Bliss. I think
Yeah.
her versus Asuka, that makes the most sense.
Yep.
And this could, really take Asuka to the next level, I think.
Plus, you got to look at like Bianca's a babyface, Raquel's a babyface. I mean, they're not really known to have two baby faces feuding, especially on WrestleMania. You know.
Just the thing is, I think with Raquel, she just needs more time with the main roster crowd, which is a
Yep.
lot of these Triple H guys that you're not going to see really on this Mania card that much because a lot of them aren't connecting with the crowd. Just on
Yep.
Monday, I actually watched Raw and I saw somebody's, view of Bronson Reed, and there was no reaction at all. Literally.
Well, you're gonna be mad about my prediction when it comes to that match.
Oh, I know. I'm sure I already know what your prediction's probably going to be. So, who do we
Oh,
have
boy.
winning this
Here we
match
go.
now?
Definitely Asuka, man. Like
I'm
you
gonna
know,
go
she's
with
bred
Asuka.
for success.
Yeah, I got to go with Asuka. All right, so moving on now to our next match on the Elimination Chamber card. We have Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, this is the third match in their supposedly trilogy or whatever.
Donnie's gonna
I
be
think this
excited.
I think this is going to end in a no contest, and I think they're going to carry it over to WrestleMania. I do feel like the Hurt Business is going to get involved in this match. It's going to end a DQ, and it's going to carry on the feud into WrestleMania.
It's all
I'm with you
storytelling,
there,
man.
buddy. 10
I'm
4.
with you.
So we
I'm
got Bobby
definitely
Lashley
with you.
disqualification. That was quick. That was quick.
Well, I do want to add something to what Danny was saying with the Hurt Business.
Okay, good.
That's exactly what my prediction is for this
Same.
match. I think the Hurt
That was
Business
mine
is
too.
going to get involved with a DQ or after the match. Like Lesnar beats Lashley. Then, the Hurt Business is going to come back together. I think with Omos, because he's going to be like pretty much like the big bodyguard for the group.
Mhm.
And I think pretty much that's going to give Lesnar, a road to WrestleMania so that we're going to see him, probably have maybe like a 2-on-1 handicap match with like Shelton and like Cedric. I think, Brock Lesnar is going to take out Omos before Mania so that it's just Lashley and him and we get that banger match at Mania.
Yep.
This will be more for storyline purposes.
And this is the second week in a row on Raw that we've seen Bobby Lashley coming out wearing the suit. He's
I love
a heel again.
Love it.
They've been giving Cedric and Sheldon some wins on Raw and some main event and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
trying to
So
build
I
him
mean,
up a
you
little
gotta
bit, so.
Love it.
you gotta love the return of stables, man. Because now we got a few. We got
That's
we
the
got the
thing with
Bloodline,
Bobby
Judgment
Lashley.
Day, and fucking Hurt Business now. So
You guys know firsthand how I felt
fucking
about
mark.
Bobby Lashley's heel run as WWE champion with the Hurt Business.
Yep.
You guys know it firsthand.
fucking
I loved it. And now,
fucking
this is the Bobby Lashley the last couple weeks. This is what I've been waiting for.
This guy.
I have
I
a
am
question
super
to ask.
excited to see
Rizzle
what
on this
happens.
guy's fucking meat.
I have a question to ask both of you, and I want both of your opinions on
Fuck
this.
yourself.
It's been a while. It's been a while
I love
since
the
the Hurt
loyalty.
Business. It's been a while since the Hurt Business, was a thing. They broke up way too early.
Wait,
That was a
Absolutely.
Vince McMahon call. Do you guys think that the Hurt Business is going to have the same kind of momentum that they had, before they broke up, or do you think the fans
no,
are
it's
just
gonna
not
be
going to
bigger.
connect?
No, it's gonna be fucking bigger. Everybody believes that the Hurt Business went way too fucking soon, so it's gonna be bigger, man. Especially under Triple H's fucking wing, dude. It's gonna be great. Even
Yeah,
if
I
it's
but
not long, it's gonna be great.
the
I
last
think
2 years
if
they were pretty
they
much
here's what's gonna happen. I think if WWE does do a brand split and they're not on the same brand as Bloodline or Judgment Day, they will be a top friggin' faction in WWE. Lashley will have another run with either the Universal or WWE title, and I can really
It's a
see them,
possibility.
running either Raw or SmackDown.
yeah.
It's
My
possible,
only
man.
thing is the last 2 years or so WWE has pretty much buried Shelton and Cedric. So it is going to take them quite a while to get
Yeah.
They've
that
been
regain that
building it, so
momentum.
I do like what they've been
Yeah.
doing.
No,
MVP's been coming with
absolutely.
them and actually starting to get wins. I
Yeah.
do like what they've been doing.
I do like that he's been getting some more screen time as well. MVP. I do dig that because with his more screen time, it's basically guaranteed. No,
And it
it's
makes
guaranteed.
sense. And it makes sense with Shelton and Cedric actually winning now because MVP, they need a mentor. MVP is mentoring them, helping them pick up that, wins and pick up that momentum that they lost.
Yeah, man.
All right. So in this match, we all have no win.
Yeah, it's gonna end in DQ, and
DQ.
it's gonna get carried over to WrestleMania.
I agree.
Yep.
I think it's going to end up being DQ. I got to agree. All right, moving on now to the next match on the card for the Elimination Chamber. We have the Men's Chamber match. We have Montrez Ford versus Johnny Wrestling versus Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory versus Seth freaking Rollins versus Damian Priest for the United States Championship inside the chamber.
This match, man. Pull up the card again, man. We gotta look at this, and there is not one person in this chamber match that I could say no, he's not gonna win.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, bro. Look at
That's
who's
actually a
in the
pretty stacked.
match.
I take back my comment from earlier. It is a pretty stacked fucking match. Now that I'm actually really looking at it again, like it is a pretty stacked match. However, I do have two people.
Stacked.
I got two people who I think are gonna win.
Who's your two?
My two, and both have reason. One, if you can't get him over without it, you can get him over with it. Bronson Reed. He is one of them that I actually have 100%. Because here's the thing. If he comes in with that upset, people are really going to be like, okay, so what is he going to have to say about it? What are they going to do with them? Who's his first fucking opponent going to be? There's going to be so many questions, but it's up to him to deliver it. Now, my number two. Judgment Day might be out here collecting belts. So maybe Damian might take that shit back. So you got Rhea in a match. Fucking you got Damian right here, and it's a mid-card title, so you can get away with that on an Elimination Chamber fucking pay-per-view. So Damian Priest is my other go-to. My other third honorable mention, though, is Johnny Gargano. He is my other honorable mention, just because it would be so surreal to see him capture basically a big one for him, his first main roster title, at a fucking pretty decent stage of surrounded by fucking great talent in the ring, and he comes out on top. Underdog story. Boom. Let's go.
Since you're talking about Johnny, I want to give my thoughts now because for the chamber match, that's who I want to win this match. I would love to see Johnny, win the US title. And honestly, for Mania, as much as I would love to see Theory versus John Cena, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I would not mind seeing Johnny defend the U.S. title against Theory because of the history that they have on NXT with being
That's
a part of the
build-up.
way.
You get to rehash history.
You have a story.
It up and extend the story. Yeah.
You have a story. And Johnny could, I think, make that championship so much more prestigious.
Again, like as Danny said, in this match, it is kind of hard to say, I don't see them not winning because, again, you got Seth fucking Rollins in the match. You got, all these guys. But the thing is, though, it's time to let newer superstars have a shot and have a wealthy reign. And the three that, I mentioned, including yours with Johnny Gargano, it just those are the obvious three. I feel like those are like I feel very strong about them three because Montez Ford, like yeah, it's cool to see him in more of a singles light. You get to see what he's like as a singles competitor. It's just too fucking random. It's too fucking random. You know, it's like Brian Kendrick being in that scramble match, but he won it, and he was a fucking WWE champion for a little amount of time. It's just like that. You know, like he's just randomly fucking in it. You know. But it's entertaining.
Yeah.
So I could get it. I could get with it, but just not as him coming out. I couldn't sell it.
All right, Danny. I want to hear your thoughts on the tsunami in this match, Bronson.
All right, so I'm gonna rule out two people right now. Two people that I don't think are gonna win.
Yep.
Seth Rollins. At
Absolutely.
Mania, he's gonna be facing Logan Paul. Definitely does not need a title on the line. And
no.
you're not gonna have the US champion in the match and not have the title on the line.
No.
Austin Theory. I do feel like he's gonna be facing John Cena. They filmed some stuff at the end of December that hasn't been broadcast yet. So I do think that's the direction that they're gonna be going. And John Cena passing the torch to Theory is gonna be such a big moment. You definitely don't need a title on the line.
Bigger than the US title.
I think
now that is for complete that is like your name in lights fucking match. Like that is going to be the match that makes him a star. So yeah, like that he don't need a fucking title.
I could see Damian Priest winning. I could see Damian Priest being the US champion, Rhea Ripley being the Raw Women's champion or the SmackDown Women's champion, and having the
Finn
tag
Balor
team,
being Intercontinental eventually.
Having Finn Balor and possibly Dominic as the tag team champions. So I mean, I can see them going that route too. Johnny Gargano, as much as I like him, he hasn't really been getting over. He hasn't really been doing much outside of this whole Dexter Lumis thing. I could see Bronson Reed being kind of like the Raw version of Gunther with the US title, bro. The dude is demolishing.
Don't ever compare Bronson Reed to Gunther ever again, Danny. Mark Huckins.
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
Do not compare those two.
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
Gunther is in a different category than Bronson Reed.
I wouldn't
have
say that.
to go down on this, man. I'm going to respectfully decline.
Compare Gunther
but
to Bronson
I'm not going to be as extra as the guy down here, but I got to go down on this one, man. It's too soon. Give him the title, yes. Let him prove himself to be
Reed
as threatening.
Bronson Reed is going to have
Convince me
a long title reign.
But here's the thing. Convince me first before we really bring up Gunther. Because here's the thing. I can understand you saying that I could see it like that, but don't say that he is that yet. But there is potential. I can give you that. But to say that he is right now, not yet. Prove it to me first.
They're different, but they're both destructive. They both, go in the ring,
like I said,
fuck people up, and that's it.
I'll give you that one.
Absolutely.
So I mean, imagine having two dominating mid-card champions, Gunther Intercontinental, Bronson Reed US.
Bro, could you
building
imagine,
fucking stars?
Can you imagine a night of champions where we have a brand split and we get champions versus champions all fucking night?
I'm gonna go.
Fuck.
Here's the thing about Bronson Reed, I will say in this match.
Ooh, I got goosebumps.
And I think you might be surprised by my take with this.
Okay.
I do think Bronson Reed, out of these 6 guys, is really going to stand out in this match. I think they're going to give him some really cool spots. And I think that's going to help him
holy shit.
get some reactions with the crowd.
We're going to get some holy shit chants. We're going to get some holy shit chants.
I don't see him winning the U.S. title during the Chamber, but I do see him, having these spots so that when he goes on to Raw, he's going to get somewhat of a reaction, whether it's a boo.
Because he could be the first, he could be number 1 contender. He could be a number 1 contender.
They did show the crowd during after Bronson Reed's match on Monday, and there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people cheering, and I have a hard time with this whole cheering thing with when it comes to the fans or whatever. I guarantee you, 98% of the people that attend Raw and SmackDown, they don't watch on a regular basis. So a lot of the guys they don't know. I guarantee you. I will bet any amount of money on it.
I know people that went to the show, Danny, and Bronson Reed didn't really have a reaction during the show.
I saw a lot of people fucking jumping.
Yeah, because television, bro. They hire up the friggin' things in the production trucks.
I don't
So
know.
it makes
I'm
it
just,
seem like it.
if I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Bronson
So
Reed
Danny's
is
saying, guys,
crazy.
at the Thunderdome, the friggin' people on the virtual screens, they were the ones actually cheering. There were no sound effects at all during that.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, people need to give Bronson Reed a chance, and the majority of people that go to Raw and SmackDown, oh, I don't watch every week, but I'll go to this fucking show. It seems like a fun night out.
every week.
You
Twitch
know,
But you see,
it's
that's
not
the,
like
that's the
it's not
problem,
like
man.
it's not like an
With the
AEW
show,
crowd.
with the shows, bro, with WWE shows, you have a lot of casual fans, and that's the problem.
You're a
These
casual
guys
fan.
need to get over with the casual fans that
Bro,
go to the shows.
I didn't even see Austin Theory get any kind of reaction on Monday.
He gets booze. I'd be hearing it.
Not that many.
You
More
be
piped
hearing
in.
it?
You
but,
should have
like,
seen his reaction at Survivor Series.
Oh Jesus!
I wasn't there,
Christ.
so.
Ben can back me up on that one.
What,
Oh, yeah,
Theory?
Everybody was shocked.
Bro,
there,
I
man.
almost forgot he was in a match at Survivor Series. That was months
Bro,
ago.
it was fucking out of. I got to watch a Seth Rollins mark sit down in the fetal position and almost fucking puke and cry because he was so fucking wasted as it was. And he was jumping around, and you could see it in our fucking vlog. You could see it as Donnie's like waving the camera. This dude is sitting the fuck down.
And he was up the whole match too until
beside
Theory
himself.
won.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, Seth fucking Rollins, the world's greatest, and then fucking Theory wins. He's just like, fucking blown away. I thought this dude was gonna vomit. Like,
Honestly, though, I am
genuinely
excited for this men's
uncomfortable.
chamber match. I do think a lot of people are, going into this with low expectations, and I think it is going to deliver a lot more than the women's. And the two
Maybe.
people that I have winning this, I gotta go either Johnny Wrestling, or Austin Theory retaining the title.
I'm going with
That's a pretty
I'm
That
going
was-
with
you gotta
Damian.
put the I'm sorry, but you need to edit cricket noises in that pause.
I'm going with
You have
Damian
to.
Priest or Bronson Reed. Those are my picks, man.
I'm gonna be with Danny on that one. I'm gonna be with Danny on that one. I'm sorry, but you
That's
need to
fair,
add the
man.
crickets.
Nah,
You
man,
need
that's
to
fair.
Add the crickets.
That's fair. I knew mine was going to be unpopular, like from the get-go. But I am looking forward to seeing what Bronson Reed does in this
absolutely.
match.
You
I'm
also
not
have
going
to-
into this as a hater. I'm actually going into this really curious to see what they do.
You also have to look at this, okay, before we move on.
Respect.
When it comes to John Cena versus Austin Theory, if Austin Theory goes in as champion, it's pretty much going to be a predictable match. Everybody's going to know that Austin Theory is going to win. But if he goes in without a title, I mean, who's to say that John Cena doesn't beat Austin Theory? Even though he's not, but I mean, it'll just
Put
be
some
less
humility
predictable.
in that boy. Give him a
That could
face
happen,
turn.
but who knows? Maybe they want him to, have the title, and then he has no match for Mania. He does an open challenge like John Cena used to do with the U.S. title. Cena comes out.
Yeah,
Here's
but
the thing.
You never know what
No, here's
direction
the
they're going to
thing.
go
Hold
with
up,
it.
hold up. Before I forget. That is actually a really good way. If he does lose at Mania to Cena, that is a really good time to capitalize on a face turn. That is a really good way to capitalize it, because here's the thing. He could get beaten, and it puts humility in a very arrogant boy, which is really fucking good, and that's something that you want. And that will propel him to be a phenomenal face that was led and basically handed to him by Cena, a passing of the torch moment, and that could honestly catapult him into a massive fucking star. Could you imagine dubs where he's winning and the crowd is fucking roaring, dude? That is where you want to get to, and that is a fucking phenomenal way to do it. Phenomenal way if he were to lose, because it would not tarnish his credibility at all.
All I know is this men's chamber match for the U.S. title. I'm excited.
I'm fucked, bro.
Absolutely.
I
I'm sorry.
cannot wait, man.
I'm stoked for the Cena and fucking Austin Theory match, man. I'm stoked for it because this is something we've been waiting for a fucking long ass time, and I'm ready for it, man. This kid, he's young, dude, really fucking young, but he's actually at the age that Cena was when he started his massive fucking career. So
I just hope John Cena cuts
When
his
he won
hair,
the
man.
big
I don't
one.
need to see another bald spot at WrestleMania.
oh my fucking god, Daddy.
Bro,
Moving
that's all
on.
everybody was talking about during the
Moving
SmackDown
on.
appearance.
Before we get into our next match for the predictions for the Elimination Chamber, just want to remind the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there that
Thank you.
This Saturday before the watch along for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the We Are Wrestling talk show will be having a brand new episode where Ben, Danny, and myself, we're going to be celebrating 1 year, looking back at all the memories we made the past year together on this special for the We Are Wrestling talk show. Talk about some of our trips that we went to independent wrestling shows, meeting the icon Sting, Ben and I going to Survivor Series. We're really going to go back down memory lane because in case you guys didn't know, February 18th, 2022, 1 year ago, episode 3 of the We Are Wrestling talk show was the debut of the Big Three. And we're going to be celebrating that this Saturday before the watch along. You're not going to want to miss. Plus, we have a big announcement at the end of the episode that you're really not going to want to miss. Getting back into the Elimination Chamber predictions.
I can't believe it's already been. I can't believe it's already been a year, bro. It still baffles my mind.
Don't interrupt the host with the most again, Danny Mark Huckins.
I would shove that fucking painting of MJF up your ass. Shut up.
When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Shoosh!
Shoosh! Oh.
Oh, shit. All right, moving on now to our next match on the Elimination Chamber card. We have a mixed tag match. We have Beth Phoenix and Edge versus Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley.
God.
I'm going with Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley.
I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with Beth Phoenix and Edge.
I gotta go with Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. You know, they've been built strong or whatever. And I mean, Edge and Beth Phoenix could definitely stand to lose this match. They won't lose any kind of credibility. But with how massive that Judgment Day has become and Rhea Ripley going into WrestleMania, you know, after winning the Royal Rumble, she's going to WrestleMania. She's gonna beat Charlotte. Like I just don't see them losing this match.
See, I can definitely back that for sure, because I can definitely say they could be building Judgment Day to be the next big fucking stable once the bloodline ends, because Roman's going to be gone soon.
And Dominic is over, man. Like crazy.
Hell fucking yeah, he's getting
I gotta go with Danny on this one. I think Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley make the most sense because Rhea Ripley is, you know, going to be going forward SmackDown Women's Champion. She just came off a big Royal Rumble win. But my thoughts on the match as a whole, I'm personally not excited for it. I would have rather had this be Edge and Beth versus Dominic and Rhea. Just because Dominic and Rhea have had more, you know, of a relationship than Finn and Rhea.
Well, yeah.
I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but...
No, I understand. I get it. 100%.
I figured I'd bring it up.
No,
and think about it too, because we all know at WrestleMania it's going to be Edge versus Finn Balor, hopefully in a Hell in the Cell.
That'd be fucking.
But when it comes down to it, with this tag match, I really do think that this could have done more for Dominic than Finn.
I do know why Finn is in this match, though, is because I do believe that him and Edge were facing each other at Extreme Rules when. They beat up Beth and everything like that. So I do understand why Finn Balor's in the match and not Dominic. So
same.
No, I do too. Absolutely. I totally understand. So, Ben, you have Edge and Beth. Danny and I, we have Balor and Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
All right. Moving on now to the main event for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. We have the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns defending the WWE Universal Championship against Sami Zayn in his hometown.
The greatest storyline possibly in WWE history, to be honest with you. Like,
I wouldn't say history, but I would definitely say one of the top 5, at least, because just the storytelling has been... It has just been so good because it has remained fucking good through the transition of Vince McMahon to Triple H. It has remained fucking good. It has just gotten, and it's going to end juicier because we would not have gotten a great ending if it was Vince. We would have just gotten it scrapped at some point. It's like, all right, another fucking mistake in the shit. So let me erase this real quick. I'm going to be fired. Yeah, no, but like, no, but seriously though, it's going to be a great great fucking match. This is going to be an emotional one. I can see some DQ involvement with the Usos. I can see somebody turning on somebody soon. There is this match specifically.
Jimmy won't be
is a
there
pan-
because of his DUIs.
Nope, they
Gotcha.
actually will. Both the Usos will be there. They got cleared according to Dave Meltzer. They got verification. The Usos
Fuck yeah.
They won't be at SmackDown, but they'll be allowed to be at Elimination Chamber.
Just always remember,
yeah.
Jay is better than Jimmy.
Is better than Jimmy. And that is what I'm excited about for Elimination Chamber, because we're going to really see some rough cracks there. We're really going to see some rough cracks even within the bloodline with Jay. We're going to see some crazy fucking shit. And I'm not going to be surprised.
Hold on, Ben.
I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised.
Ben, we're going to save the bloodline prediction stuff after. We're talking about Sami and Roman first. Before we get into that, I know you're very excited. Nothing with Jimmy or Jay. Not yet, all right? We need to stick with the script.
Oh, bro, I was going on to somebody else. I'm not talking about Jimmy and Jay. I was about to end with
no Solo either, or Paul Heyman. Well, wait, let's just talk about the matchup first, then we can get into the rest of them.
Can I go first at least when it comes to our thoughts? Because I just want to finish that perfect crescendo. Okay, please, because you cannot have me fucking... Right, please,
yes, I know. You're like Rick Boogs, man. You're like Rick Boogs right now.
Booging out!
Booging out! Dude, I was just watching Raw
I need to grow
with
a
that, and I love it. I love Rick Boogs now. I really do.
I need to grow a mustache so bad now. I'm gonna do it.
So, Danny, how do you feel? How do you feel about the matchup with Sami and Roman?
I think it's going to be a really good match. I do think Roman is going to put a hurting on Sami. Because, you know, I don't know. You just said you just watched Raw, so I imagine you saw the Cody Rhodes and Sami segment.
I did.
Oh yeah, I cried.
Like Cody said, you know, Roman has beat a lot of people. Everybody that's come, you know, face to face with him, he's put them fucking down. But it's because of Sami that there's cracks within the bloodline now. I mean, we saw on Friday, you know, Jay dapped up Sami in the parking lot. Like, you know, the bloodline has never been this weak, you know, in the 2 years that they've been running WWE. It's going to be a very exciting match. Sami, obviously, you know, he's going to be competing in front of his family, his friends, you know, back when he was an indie star in, you know, Montreal, like, you know, all these people were there to support him. He's going to want to put on a fucking showcase. It's going to be a hellacious match, bro. I could see this being
beautiful. I could see this being a classic 100% just because of how impactful the storyline is.
This match, I see it being a solid 25 to 30-minute match. This is going to be a classic. Sami Zayn has not had a classic on the main roster since NXT takeovers.
And he gets to do it in his hometown against the biggest star in wrestling right now. He is
and you know what I forgot about?
9, dude. This is going to be nuts.
You know what I forgot about that I just saw? I just saw a photograph of it on social media. I think on Monday night after Raw, Sami Zayn was put in a squash match against Roman Reigns. I want to say in 2021. It was obviously before he joined the Bloodline or whatever. He got fucking demolished. So this isn't his first time in the ring with the Tribal Chief. So you know he's gonna want some redemption on that part too.
It's gonna get really interesting. So now, Ben, before you get into the rest of the bloodline and what we think is going to happen here, this matchup, in my opinion, I'm very excited about. I do think that this is going to be a classic that fans are going to be talking about for years to come. I think Sami Zayn, this is a perfect opportunity. And honestly, some could say Sami Zayn could be that guy. And I've been saying it, the last couple months, but with the storylines and stuff, I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately, because I think there's, other plans for Sami Zayn. But now let's get into the rest of the bloodline here. What do we think is going to happen towards the end of this match? Because we all know Roman's winning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ben, you may start.
Okay. So, okay. All right. So, as I was going on my little rant a second ago before I got cut off.
Booging out.
Rightfully so. Yep, I was booging out, guys. So Again, Roman's gonna win. It's gonna be an emotional fucking match. It might even be a fucking slaughter, but Sami is going to get up repeatedly. Like he is going to play something fucking massive. I do see the bloodline getting involved. However, I also see Kevin Owens getting involved.
Yes.
And now I even possibly see Cody Rhodes getting involved. They're building numbers for the bloodline. And I could honestly see some kind of Cody Rhodes influence on this match. Even him showing up and again joining in on all the fucking chaos and shit because he just showed that he is a Sami believer. And that could possibly be his opponent for WrestleMania. That would further everything that was said on fucking SmackDown. Right? SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Raw.
everything
Raw.
or it was Raw, sorry. Everything that was said on Raw, it would fucking be backed up right there. And now we have something massive to pay attention to because there's two fucking titles and there's two men that respect each other clearly and a big fucking storyline and a massive fucking ending. So I could see Cody Rhodes getting involved too with Kevin Owens in Montreal. And that would make history for Sami Zayn because that is literally his fucking hometown.
Yeah.
So I do see an alliance being formed.
I know it's gonna happen.
I see the Jay making Sami think that he's on his side. Jay obviously super kicks Sami. Kevin Owens gets involved. That sets up Sami and Kevin Owens and the Usos for a tag team match at WrestleMania, and therefore Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to be taking the tag titles.
Yep. So here's what I think is gonna happen potentially. I see Jimmy and Solo trying to, get involved in this match with Sami and Roman. I think Cody and Kevin Owens are going to, go and attack them so that they're out of the scene. But Jay is going to get put in a situation where he needs to pick Roman
choose.
or Sami. And unfortunately, in this situation, Jay
He's
is going to pick
choose
Roman because he's afraid of turning on him right now. And that's what's going to lead Roman to beat Sami. And that's going to lead to the next Raw and SmackDowns. And we get the Usos versus Sami and Owens for WrestleMania 39.
And once they lose at 39, just like when Roman loses at 39, that is the perfect moment to break up the Usos right there. Because at all else failed, Jay turned his back on Sami. It costed them everything. And now it's like, Roman loses too. What is it for? Like, I can finally see him going off into singles competition because he's been getting physically fucking ready for it. Mark my fucking words, we're about to see the single run of main event fucking Uso.
I see Jay being on SmackDown, Jimmy going to Raw.
Yup. Yup.
And I think what's going to happen at Mania when Sami and Kevin win, Jimmy's going to blame Jay, and that's when Jay is just going to have enough and super kick Jimmy's teeth right down his throat.
Here's the thing. I'm going to see fucking I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to be Jimmy that gets fucking pinned, and Jay is finally going to turn on fucking Jimmy. And it's going to fucking end that way where Jay is still going to walk out a fucking face. He's still going to walk out a face.
I will say, though, like,
just from the loss because it proved everything.
I wouldn't mind the Usos, going their separate ways and doing singles or whatever for a while.
Just do it.
My only concern is WWE doesn't really have too many legitimate tag teams. You know what I mean?
They're building them.
But their time as their time as a tag team is run stale after this, man. They were just a part of the biggest fucking storyline any tag team could be part of right now. They need to go their separate ways now.
Yeah,
they need to.
I think so.
Build more tag teams. Build. Unfortunately, Jimmy's down to fly to the radar where Jay's gonna fucking.
And that's the thing. We saw it with the Hardy Boys. They separated at one point. And they even tried it with the Dudleys at one point. Edge and Christian split at one point. And I think with the Usos, it's going to happen after this tag title run. I do think. Jay is ready to get that big push. He proved himself in 2020. He proved himself with his longest reigning tag title run. It's time.
We are literally reshaping the wrestling world in WWE as we know it at WrestleMania. The whole landscape's gonna change. The whole fucking everything. Bianca will be dethroned. Charlotte may be dethroned. Fucking the Usos dethroned, Roman dethroned, and possibly Gunther dethroned. I think honestly, this might be the one pay-per-view where all titles change hands. I can genuinely see this being one of the only manias where every single title changes.
I think Gunter's going to be the only one to keep the title.
I think
Possibly.
Gunther's going to lose
Okay.
it to Sheamus. The Intercontinental Championship's the only title Sheamus has never won. And I mean,
Thank
with
you for
their
saying that, Donnie. You
hellacious,
just added another 15 minutes on this guy.
with their hellacious
know.
battle, with their battle at Clash of the Castle, bro. Tell me you wouldn't like to see that again. At
What's your
WrestleMania.
obsession with Sheamus, Danny?
Bro, are you kidding me? That was the
He's
best
a tall
match
glass of
fucking
milk, and
Clash
clearly
the
he's
Castle.
fucking
Are you
thirsty.
kidding me?
That's what his obsession
Do
is.
you like mayonnaise?
He likes milk, and he's a tall glass of fucking milk, and Danny's thirsty.
Bro, you guys are not wrestling fans if you guys don't think that Gunther and Sheamus had the best match on the entire fucking show at Clash of the Castle.
I never said
we ever
anything
say
of that.
So
You're
tell
just
me you would
fucking
not like
marking
to
out.
see, you would not like to see that match at WrestleMania, bro. It's gonna fucking happen.
Drew McIntyre's going to be in there. It's going to be a triple threat.
That makes the score go down.
I don't know, man. I don't think Gunter is going to lose at Mania. I don't think so.
We'll have to wait and see. I
think
can't
he's the
wait
one.
to see. After this Saturday, we finally get the focus solely on WrestleMania. So,
I cannot wait for that predictions. We might have to do a 2-part for that one.
bro, we might have to go live for the WrestleMania predictions because there's gonna be so much to dive into.
It's going to be nuts. But is there anything else, guys, for the Elimination Chamber predictions that you want to add to this before we close this off?
I think we covered everything, man. Don't forget, Saturday, 8:00 p.m., we will be live. And if you guys want somebody to watch the show with, come hang out with us, man.
That's right. And let us know in the comment section below, guys, your thoughts on the Elimination Chamber predictions. We want to hear what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoyed this Elimination Chamber predictions video, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow all of us on our social medias and other YouTube pages. And tonight, Danny will be live for AEW Dynamite for Watch
Let's
Along.
go.
And I will be having reactions as well for AEW that you're not going to want to miss. And in addition, if you want to support We Are Wrestling a little bit more, you can go follow us on our social medias and all that down below. But of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.